Excellence is not a destination. It's not a medal you hang around your neck or a title written beside your name. Excellence is a habit. It's something we build day after day through small choices that no one else sees. We often imagine excellence as a grand performance, a breakthrough, a moment of glory. But in truth, it begins long before the spotlight ever finds us. It begins in the quiet moments and the decisions we make when no one is watching. The problem most people face isn't that they don't want to be excellent. It's that they want to be excellent instantly. They chase perfection instead of progress. They want results before building routines. But real excellence grows from consistency. You don't wake up one day and become great. You wake up every day and do the small things that make greatness inevitable. Excellence is built in the ordinary. It's in the way you write an email, the way you greet people, the way you show up prepared even when you don't feel like it. It's in how you listen, not just to respond, but to understand. It's in your ability to stay humble when things go right and stay grounded when they don't. The truth is, excellence is far less about skill and far more about character. If you want to build excellence into your everyday life, start by changing how you see your day. Don't ask, what do I have to do today? Ask, how can I do what I have to do with excellence? That single question transforms tasks into opportunities. You'll notice details others ignore. You'll care about outcomes others rush through. And that care, that attention, is what separates the ordinary from the exceptional. But let's be clear, excellence doesn't mean perfection. Perfection is rigid, unforgiving, and impossible. Excellence is flexible, human, and deeply intentional. It's about giving your best effort, even when circumstances aren't perfect. It's about showing discipline when motivation fades. The best don't do everything right. They just refuse to do things carelessly. And here's something most people forget: excellence is contagious. When you consistently bring your best to your work, your relationships, and your responsibilities, you raise the standard for everyone around you. People start to notice. Not because you brag, but because your actions speak louder than words. The energy of excellence creates trust, and trust builds influence. Building excellence into your life requires awareness. Noticing how you think, how you act, and how you react. It requires intention, deciding in advance who you want to be in each situation. And it requires repetition, doing the right thing so many times that it becomes second nature. That's the moment when excellence shifts from effort to identity. Excellence is not what you occasionally do, it's who you consistently are. It's a commitment to growth, to integrity, and to responsibility. It's saying, even if no one else does it right, I will. It's choosing the long game over the easy win. And when you do that, when excellence becomes part of your DNA, you don't just succeed, you inspire, you lead, you create a ripple effect that moves far beyond your own life. So start today. Whatever you're doing right now, do it a little better. Pay a little more attention. Care a little more deeply. Because the way you do the small things determines the way you'll handle the big things. And that's how you build excellence, not once, not occasionally, but every single day. 5 key notes from the speech: excellence is built through consistent small actions, not one-time achievements or moments of recognition. Perfection is not the goal. Progress and discipline are. Excellence thrives on effort, not flawlessness. Ordinary moments shape extraordinary people. How you handle small details defines your character. Excellence inspires others. It raises standards and builds trust through consistent behavior. True excellence becomes identity when doing your best is no longer effort. It's who you are. Excellence is built through consistent small actions, not one-time achievements or moments of recognition. Most people dream of being excellent, but very few are willing to build excellence brick by brick. We live in a world that celebrates outcomes, the awards, the trophies, the promotions, the applause. But what truly shapes those outcomes are the invisible choices we make long before the results appear. Excellence is not something you stumble upon by luck. It is something you construct daily through discipline, repetition, and care for the details that others often overlook. The small actions matter more than the big gestures. Think about it. No athlete becomes a champion because of one good game. No artist becomes a master because of one beautiful painting. And no leader earns trust because of a single inspiring speech. What makes them excellent is their ability to show up over and over again, giving their best even when no one is watching. The world often sees the highlight reel, but excellence is born in the behind the scenes footage. The quiet mornings, the extra hour of practice, the uncomfortable decisions, the effort to do one more revision when the mind wants to rest. Excellence isn't glamorous in the process. It's repetitive, sometimes boring, and often unnoticed. But that's where its power lies. The more you commit to the small, consistent actions, the more you train your mind and body to operate with excellence as the default. The great difference between those who achieve lasting success and those who fade away is not talent, it's consistency. A small improvement done daily compounds into mastery. Just like water shaping stone, slow and steady effort carves out strength and precision over time. The truth is, consistency builds credibility. When you keep showing up with integrity and effort, people begin to rely on you, not because of what you occasionally do, but because of who you consistently are. Excellence is a reflection of reliability. The quiet confidence that others feel when they know you'll deliver quality, regardless of circumstances. It's about taking pride in the process rather than waiting for the praise. The person who sweeps a floor with attention to detail is already practicing excellence just as much as the person leading a team to success. The size of the task doesn't determine its value. The quality of the effort does. We often underestimate the power of repetition. Doing something small the right way again and again rewires the brain to favor excellence. Over time, you no longer need to force effort. Excellence becomes habit. The smallest acts, arriving on time, keeping promises, finishing what you start, might seem ordinary, but together they create the extraordinary. The difference between mediocrity and excellence lies in how seriously you take the things that appear insignificant. A person who pays attention to the small details develops the discipline to handle the big challenges. Excellence also requires patience. We live in an instant results culture where people expect progress overnight. But growth doesn't work that way. You cannot plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it, care for it, protect it from storms, and let time do its work. The same goes for building excellence. You have to trust that your consistent effort, even when invisible, is moving you forward. The challenge is to stay committed during the quiet phases, when the world isn't clapping, when results aren't yet visible. That's when most people give up. But those who continue, those who stay faithful to the small things, end up achieving what others call luck. Excellence is a commitment to the process. It's waking up and doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. It's maintaining standards when it's tempting to cut corners. It's choosing quality over convenience. Every decision, no matter how small, is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. When you give your best in little things, you are preparing yourself for the bigger moments life will eventually present. The small daily wins, reading a few pages, practicing a skill for 15 minutes, choosing honesty over excuses, might not look dramatic, but they build an identity rooted in excellence. The beauty of consistent small actions is that they are within everyone's reach. You don't need a perfect plan or extraordinary resources. You just need to decide that whatever you do, you will do it well. Excellence doesn't demand brilliance, but it does demand effort. Over time, the small steps you take accumulate into a foundation so strong that opportunities naturally find you. Excellence attracts trust, respect, and growth because people recognize the pattern. Your consistency becomes your reputation. When you understand that excellence is built through daily effort, you stop chasing instant success and start cultivating lasting impact. Every morning becomes a chance to add another brick to the foundation of your character. Every task, no matter how small, becomes an opportunity to practice greatness. Excellence isn't waiting for a grand moment, it's waiting for you to show up again and again and again with purpose, humility, and care. That's how small actions, done consistently, create a life defined by true excellence. Perfection is not the goal. Progress and discipline are. We live in a time where people chase perfection like it's the key to success, believing that unless everything is flawless, it's not worth doing. But perfection is a moving target, one that keeps slipping further away the closer you get. The truth is, no one ever becomes excellent by being perfect. They become excellent by being persistent, by showing up every day, learning, improving, and growing. Progress, not perfection, is the true path to mastery. Discipline, not motivation, is what keeps you on that path when the excitement fades. Perfection is a trap disguised as ambition. It convinces people that they need to have the perfect plan before taking the first step, that they must eliminate all mistakes before starting, and that their work must meet impossible standards before it's shared with the world. This mindset kills growth before it even begins. The pursuit of perfection leads to paralysis. People wait, overthink, and fear failure. But excellence doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from working through the imperfect ones. Progress means you accept imperfection as part of the process. You try, you fail, you learn, and you try again. Every time you repeat that cycle, you build strength, skill, and confidence. The most successful people are not those who never make mistakes, but those who never stop improving. They understand that mistakes are not proof of weakness. They are evidence of effort. Progress demands courage. The courage to be seen trying, to be seen learning, to be seen not yet great. Every expert was once an amateur who refused to give up. Every masterpiece began as a rough sketch. The journey from average to excellent is paved with missteps, corrections, and lessons learned in failure. The key is discipline, doing the work even when you don't feel like it, pushing through discomfort, and respecting the process enough to stay consistent. Discipline builds excellence because it keeps you grounded when emotions fluctuate. Motivation comes and goes, discipline remains. There will be days when you feel inspired and everything flows easily, and there will be days when you feel drained and uninspired. The difference between those who achieve excellence and those who don't is that the first group keeps working through both kinds of days. They don't rely on how they feel, they rely on what they've committed to. Discipline is the bridge between goals and growth. It transforms good intentions into habits and habits into results. Progress is rarely visible in the short term. That's why people give up too early. They expect instant transformation and get discouraged when they don't see it. But real progress happens quietly beneath the surface until one day it becomes undeniable. It's like sharpening a blade. Each small stroke doesn't seem to make much difference, but over time the blade becomes sharp enough to cut through anything. The same principle applies to personal growth. The small, consistent efforts you make each day, reading a little, practicing a skill, choosing patience over frustration, eventually build excellence that lasts. Perfection, on the other hand, demands too much too soon. It wants results without the journey. It punishes mistakes instead of learning from them. It creates pressure instead of growth. When people chase perfection, they often end up comparing themselves to others, measuring their progress against unrealistic standards. But progress is personal. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday, not better than someone else today. True excellence doesn't come from competition. It comes from continuous improvement. The pursuit of progress also makes you resilient. When you focus on growth instead of perfection, failure loses its power to define you. It becomes feedback, not defeat. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to test your strength and refine your methods. Progress invites curiosity. You begin to ask, how can I do this better? Instead of what if I fail? That question opens the door to learning, and learning is the foundation of excellence. Those who keep learning, keep improving. Those who fear mistakes stay stuck. Discipline and progress work together like partners. Progress gives you direction. It's the reason you keep moving forward. Discipline gives you structure. It's the engine that keeps you moving even when the road is hard. Without progress, discipline feels empty. Without discipline, progress never lasts. Together, they create momentum, a steady, unstoppable force that carries you closer to excellence each day. The beauty of this approach is that it removes the pressure of being perfect and replaces it with the peace of getting better. You don't have to conquer everything today. You just have to take one small step forward. Excellence is not about flawless execution. It's about consistent evolution. Each day you choose discipline over excuses and progress over perfection. You train yourself to value growth over image. And in doing so, you build a foundation of excellence that is unshakable because it's real, earned, and resilient. When you stop striving for perfection and striving for progress, you free yourself to learn, to improve, and to keep going. Excellence is not born from flawless moments. It's built through persistent effort, humble growth, and disciplined consistency. Progress makes you unstoppable because it's never about being the best. It's about becoming better every single day. Ordinary moments shape extraordinary people. How you handle small details defines your character. Excellence doesn't suddenly appear when the world is watching. It's built in the unseen hours, in the moments that seem too small to matter. The way you conduct yourself in everyday life, how you treat people, how you follow through on commitments, how you respond to challenges. These ordinary details reveal who you truly are. Most people believe greatness is achieved through grand acts, but the truth is greatness is revealed in the ordinary, repeated moments of disciplined care and integrity. The small things you do each day are like threads that, when woven together over time, create the fabric of excellence. It's easy to perform well when the stakes are high, when there's recognition, reward, or competition involved. But real excellence shows up in the moments when no one is clapping. It's in the quality of work you deliver when no one is checking. It's in your attitude when the task feels unimportant. The person who brings excellence to the ordinary develops a character that cannot help but shine in the extraordinary. The truth is, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you are careless with small things, you will eventually be careless with big ones. If you respect the little details, you prepare yourself to handle greater responsibilities with the same precision. The greatest leaders, athletes, and innovators in the world all share one habit: attention to detail. They treat every moment, every task, every interaction as an opportunity to practice excellence. This doesn't mean they obsess over perfection. It means they care deeply about the process. They understand that the small details are not minor. They are foundational. When you pour excellence into the smallest parts of your work, you send a message to yourself and others that your standards are non-negotiable. You're saying, if my name is on it, it will be done well. That mindset builds trust, credibility, and confidence, not only in others, but within yourself. Ordinary moments are also tests of consistency. It's easy to rise to the occasion once in a while, but excellence demands that you rise to every occasion. This doesn't mean you'll always feel inspired. It means you'll always choose responsibility. Doing small things well, even when they seem insignificant, trains your mind to value quality over convenience. Over time, this becomes part of your identity. You no longer have to think about doing your best. It becomes automatic. You begin to expect excellence from yourself, not because someone demands it, but because it's who you are. That is the real reward of paying attention to small details. It shapes your character into something dependable, disciplined, and strong. Think about how trust is built. It's not built through one big promise. It's built through countless small moments of reliability. The same principle applies to excellence. Every time you follow through on a commitment, every time you keep your word, every time you take responsibility for your actions, you reinforce a pattern of trust with yourself and with others. Excellence isn't about impressing people. It's about earning their respect through consistency. People notice when you care. They remember when you go the extra mile. They feel the difference between someone who merely completes a task and someone who completes it with pride. Even in relationships, excellence lives in the ordinary. It's in listening with full attention, showing gratitude, keeping promises, and treating others with respect. It's not the grand gestures that sustain relationships. It's the small, everyday actions that communicate value and reliability. The same applies in professional life. The way you reply to an email, the way you organize your workspace, The way you show up on time, these details form an unspoken language of integrity. Excellence is built not in the big victories, but in the way you handle the small, consistent moments that others often overlook. People often underestimate how much ordinary moments reveal about their true nature. When everything is going well, it's easy to be polite, hardworking, and positive. But it's in the mundane and inconvenient moments that your real character shows. Do you still give your best when the work is unnoticed? Do you still keep your word when it's inconvenient? Do you still care about quality when there's no reward attached? Those are the moments that define who you are becoming. The extraordinary person is not born through extraordinary circumstances. They are forged in the daily practice of doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Excellence is a reflection of mindfulness. When you are present in what you do, truly present, even the smallest act becomes meaningful. You begin to see value in sweeping the floor, writing a report, helping a colleague, or simply keeping things organized. These moments might appear trivial, but they build habits of attention and care. Over time, that attention compounds into mastery. Every great achievement you see, a perfect performance, a flawless design, a brilliant idea, is the result of countless small moments handled with precision and patience. When you start to respect the ordinary, you begin to transform it. The smallest actions, done with focus, done with pride, done with sincerity, become the foundation for everything you aspire to achieve. Excellence doesn't appear at the end of the journey. It grows quietly in the middle of it, in the daily effort, in the unnoticed moments, in the little details that most people ignore. Extraordinary people are not born with special gifts. They are made by choosing to treat ordinary moments as opportunities for greatness, one small act at a time. Excellence inspires others. It raises standards and builds trust through consistent behavior. When someone consistently shows up with excellence, they don't need to announce it. Their actions speak louder than any words ever could. Excellence has a silent power. It doesn't demand attention, it earns it. People notice when you care about your work, when you give your best effort even when it isn't required, and when you hold yourself accountable without needing external pressure. That kind of consistency creates an invisible ripple effect. It encourages others to rise to the same level. Excellence is contagious. It spreads through example, not instruction. When people witness excellence, something inside them shifts. It challenges them to re-examine their own standards, to ask themselves if they could do better. A person who consistently embodies excellence becomes a mirror, reflecting what's possible when dedication meets integrity. They raise the bar not by criticizing others, but by demonstrating what commitment looks like in action. This is how leaders are made, not by title, but by behavior. The most powerful influence you can have on others is not through what you tell them to do, but through what they see you doing every single day. Trust is built through this very consistency. People trust those who are reliable, those whose actions match their words. When you practice excellence over time, you build a reputation for dependability. Others begin to rely on you, not because of your words, but because you've proven through your actions that you can be counted on. Whether it's in a team, a business, a friendship, or a family, excellence becomes a foundation of stability. People feel secure around someone who takes responsibility, who delivers quality, and who never compromises there for convenience. Trust is not given, it's earned, one consistent act of excellence at a time. Excellence also raises the collective standard in any environment. When one person starts taking their work seriously, showing care in every detail, and holding themselves accountable, it naturally influences those around them. Mediocrity can survive only when it's accepted. Once excellence appears, mediocrity begins to fade. Others start noticing the difference. They start asking questions like, if they can do it that well, why can't I? And slowly, an atmosphere of improvement replaces complacency. One person's example can transform an entire culture, a team, a company, or even a family, simply by demonstrating what's possible when effort meets purpose. The power of excellence lies in its authenticity. You can't fake it. People recognize genuine effort. They can see when someone's heart is in their work. That authenticity earns respect. When people respect you, they listen, they learn, and they follow. Excellence doesn't have to demand authority. It commands it naturally. It's not about being better than others. It's about being the best version of yourself consistently. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. The energy of excellence uplifts everyone it touches because it reminds people that greatness is within their reach too. Excellence also creates influence without noise. The quiet, consistent worker who delivers quality every time often earns more admiration than the loudest person in the room. Because excellence communicates values, integrity, pride, respect, and reliability. Those values resonate deeply with people who aspire for more. When they see someone embodying those values, it sparks belief. They start to believe that discipline matters, that quality matters, that how you do something is as important as what you do. This belief spreads, and soon excellence becomes not just an individual act, but a shared expectation. When you live with excellence, you also teach others how to treat you. People respect consistency. They know where you stand, what you tolerate, and what you don't. When you hold yourself to a high standard, others rise to meet it. Excellence doesn't mean perfection. It means care, intention, and effort. Those who see you maintaining these values, even under pressure, realize that excellence isn't conditional. It's part of who you are. That kind of authenticity draws people toward you. They trust your word, your work, and your vision because they've seen proof of your reliability. Excellence builds influence that lasts. Influence that comes from charm or authority fades quickly, but influence built on consistent excellence endures. It's remembered, respected, and often replicated. The teachers, mentors, leaders, or friends who impact us most are rarely those who spoke the loudest. They are the ones who quietly demonstrated what excellence looks like through their actions. They showed us the power of care, discipline, and consistency, and those lessons stay with us long after their words fade. Every act of excellence, no matter how small, becomes a contribution to something larger. It becomes a source of trust, a model of integrity, and a reminder of what's possible. Excellence creates a standard, not through force, but through example. When you hold yourself accountable, when you do things right, even when it's hard, you give permission for others to do the same. You show them that effort is valuable, that consistency is strength, and that character still matters. In every space, workplaces, classrooms, families, communities, excellence spreads through observation. It's not what you demand from others that changes them, it's what you demonstrate. When people see you living with discipline, staying true to your word, and delivering your best without needing applause, they begin to believe in a higher way of doing things. Excellence becomes a quiet revolution. One person, one act, one standard at a time, inspiring others to rise, to improve, and to build trust through their own consistent behavior. True excellence becomes identity when doing your best is no longer effort. It's who you are. At first, excellence is something you try to practice. You have to remind yourself to be consistent, to stay disciplined, to care about the small things. It feels deliberate, even tiring. But over time, as those habits repeat, something deeper happens. Excellence stops being something you do and starts becoming something you live, becomes woven into your mindset, your choices, your values. You no longer need to force it. It becomes natural, automatic, part of your character. That's when excellence transforms from behavior into identity. When excellence becomes part of who you are, you don't need external motivation. You don't wait for rewards, recognition, or competition to give your best. You simply can't imagine doing things halfway. You hold yourself to a higher standard not because someone else expects it, but because it feels wrong to do less than your best. This is the turning point when excellence moves from the surface to the soul. It's not about chasing perfection or applause. It's about integrity. You act with care and discipline because that's who you are, regardless of who's watching or what circumstances you're in. Excellence as identity also changes how you see your work. You stop measuring yourself only by outcomes and start valuing effort, growth, and consistency. Success becomes a byproduct of who you are, not the reason you act. Whether it's a major project or a simple task, your approach remains the same. You give it your full attention, your best energy, and your genuine care. Over time, this approach creates a reputation. People recognize you as someone dependable, someone who takes pride in quality, someone who brings excellence everywhere they go. But more importantly, you recognize yourself that way too. That self-trust becomes the foundation for confidence. When excellence becomes your identity, it also defines how you face challenges. Difficult situations no longer discourage you, they reveal your character. You no longer ask, can I do this? You ask, how can I do this well? That subtle shift in perspective makes all the difference. Challenges become opportunities to express who you are, not tests to prove yourself. You don't crumble under pressure because your commitment to excellence gives you stability. Even when results aren't perfect, you gave everything you had, and that brings peace. The process of turning excellence into identity isn't quick or easy. It's built through thousands of small decisions. The times you choose effort over comfort, patience over shortcuts, principles over popularity. Each time you act with excellence, you cast a vote for the person you wanted to become, and those votes accumulate until your actions align with your identity. The key is consistency. The more you practice excellence, the more it becomes second nature. What once required discipline becomes instinct. You start expecting quality from yourself in everything you touch. When excellence becomes identity, it also shapes how you treat people. You naturally bring respect, kindness, and fairness into your interactions. You don't do it for approval. You do it because it's the right thing. Excellence isn't limited to performance. It extends to character. It's seen in how you listen, how you speak, how you show empathy. People can sense when excellence runs deep because it shows up in behavior that isn't rehearsed or forced. You don't have to tell others you care. They can feel it. This level of authenticity creates a lasting impression. When excellence defines you, it influences every part of your life. It changes how you manage time, how you approach learning, how you recover from failure. You no longer fear mistakes because your focus is not on being flawless, but on being faithful to your standards. Even setbacks become moments of refinement. You don't abandon your values when things get hard. That's when they become most visible. Your identity, rooted in excellence, becomes your compass. It guides your decisions, your relationships, and your purpose. The beauty of living this way is that excellence stops being effortful. It feels natural, even peaceful. You no longer struggle to try harder. Instead, you act from who you've become. The habits of care, precision, and integrity are no longer external demands. They are internal truths. You hold yourself accountable without needing reminders. You take pride in your work without needing praise. You find satisfaction in the process, not just the product. Excellence at this point is not something you practice, it's something you embody. When doing your best becomes identity, excellence radiates from you effortlessly. Others see it in the way you speak, act, and make decisions. It earns you respect, not because you seek it, but because authenticity always attracts admiration. You inspire others not through speeches or instructions, but through the quiet consistency of your actions. You become proof that excellence is not a skill or a strategy, it's a way of being. In the end, when excellence becomes who you are, you live differently. You walk into every room knowing your effort will reflect your values. You no longer chase external validation because your fulfillment comes from within. Excellence becomes the standard you carry into every part of life, work, relationships, habits, and mindset. And that's the most powerful version of success when doing your best is no longer an act of effort, but a reflection of your identity. Excellence is not something we stumble upon. It's something we choose, build, and live every single day. It's not about being perfect or waiting for the right moment. It's about showing up again and again with intention, care, and discipline. The smallest actions, when done with excellence, create the strongest foundation. They shape who we are, how we lead, and how we inspire others. Excellence is not a performance, it's a mindset, one that transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for greatness. When you make excellence a part of your daily life, it becomes your identity. It becomes the standard by which you live, work, and serve. And in doing so, you don't just achieve success, you create impact, you earn respect, and you leave behind a legacy that speaks long after words fade.